Good morning. We are back. February 19th, 2019. We'll be inking a Mike Zeck Captain America sketch on a Captain America Join the Revolution 001 variant edition this morning. Let's see. Let me get up my preview screen. I actually use the back part of YouTube. It kind of gives me like that nice mirror reflection. So when I'm working, I really use it kind of as a guide. I know it's on a bit of a slant, but especially when I'm drawing my own sketches, it lets me know if anything looks too crooked, might need to be straightened out or otherwise. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started on this. I think I'm gonna let's see. Mike gave just a hint of the shield over here. This is kind of a luxury in a sense that I have working in my studio versus at a convention is I can actually use a template for this part of the shield. I have freehanded them before and it works out at a show, but when I'm in my studio and have tools, why not use them? So this is a nice Captain America sketch that somebody picked up. Somebody got Mike to draw at the North Texas comic book show a few weekends ago. And it's on my schedule now to get it inked and shipped out to the, it's actually going to the person who purchased it. It's going to their, I guess it's like their facilitator for CGC or CBCS to get graded. So that means I have to sign a little piece of paper stating that it is indeed, once I sign it and stuff, that it is my inking. So far this morning, I've got some mailing taken care of, and well, labels and stuff ready to go, and some website work on the Daytona Beach Comic-Con website, as well as I need to upgrade my site. Actually, I need to put a few things up there, like my new JB monogram. Need to put that up. Change out the old one. Usually on the A, I don't really, I don't do this. I'm just kind of warming up. So I usually just freehand that all the time. But since this is the first thing I've done this morning art-wise, I think I'll go ahead and just kind of sure things up, get my hand-eye coordination, brain working. That type of deal. I really like the way Mike interprets Captain America. Um, very, very heroic. This is one of Mike's more, what would I say, stern expressioned caps. Uh, he mixes it up a bit on these. Sometimes you'll get a cap that's smiling, a happy, friendly cap. Maybe the guy that requested this one asked for a cap's not really angry here. He's just serious, I would say. So sometimes a little bit of direction like that is okay. Hey, good morning, Ron. I believe I was planning on streaming tonight. Um, if I'm not too tired, because I think it's the last week of a 3-week thing at Jacob's school that we've been going to. It's about reading, um, and it usually lasts about an hour to an hour and a half. So starts 5 or shortly thereafter. The lady that's running it does let the parents kind of filter in until she feels that it's time to get going. So I was up at 4 this morning, got in a shower, came down here, had some coffee. Like I said, worked on a website, and I was actually shooting to try to get this done, or started streaming at 7:30 to 8. But when I did my click and ship, I accidentally, well, not, two things happened. I hit the wrong thing to print some labels, and it didn't print out exactly how I needed them, in a sense, meaning the sticky label didn't get printed, so it went to the next piece of paper. And there she is, the kidney lady. I sent her a text at 8:24 to tell her I was streaming, and I would give her a shout after. So she's getting back to me to say okay. So the kidney lady's making her appearance. She's making herself known, and that's fine. I have the 2 sketches from last night wrapped up, so I can't review them. I did get some nice scans of them, though. Um, those 2 turned out really nice, I thought. Had a good time doing them. I hope if you saw the live stream, you enjoyed it. And if you didn't, you can go back in my archives and take a look at them. You can watch them being inked. So interesting. It's kind of a quiet morning. Um, It seemed like yesterday being a holiday, especially here in my office, it seemed like there were more people here yesterday than there are today for some reason. Okay. Don't need this. Gonna eventually get off that guy's mailing list because he's sending too much stuff that I'm not interested in. I thought I would be, but I'm not. Um, that's another thing I need to start my mail list again. I had a mail list at one time and I let it go. Isn't that the truth, Ron? Always, always, always. Yeah, you know what? You're right, Ron. Uh, I haven't even spoken with Craig in a while. I know that um, the house remodel has got him kind of tied up with. In fact, he did call me. It may have been last week or late last week. He was on his way home because the delivery company was gonna was bringing their bedroom furniture that they picked out, and he had to be there to let him in. But you're right. Maybe I I got to get that invite to everybody going for Friday night and see if we can't get Mr. Zablo in here for a few hours or at least an hour. I believe I'm pretty sure it's common knowledge. For those of you that are interested, I'll be inking that David Finch Batman cover for the Inkwell Awards. I got to check and see when I need to have that done. Now, the bad thing is I can't stream that. I can't do it live because they don't want anybody even posting them. They want to. It has to go through DC first. Um, Finch is going to sign. Apparently, I think he's signing all of them. So this will be my first time, and I have a little bit of mixed feelings about it because it's my first time to ink David Finch, and it's over a blue line that could be a little bit better. But we'll see. What I hope to do is not change it, but just bring. I don't want mine to look like everybody else's. I mean, David's pencils are tight, but there's a certain it's like when they did the Jim Lee one. It seemed like they were all too similar in many ways. And I've been studying that cover and looking at it. And for myself, I think I've got a different approach that I'm going to take. So I mean, I could do the thing, meaning I could do it as it is. But I also see potential in a way that, and I'm not familiar with a lot of David's work, but I do see potential in certain textural things that I'd like to play with. So I'll give that a shot and see what I come up with. I can always, if I get halfway through it and don't like it, I can always go back and play it safe. There's always that. But the main thing about the inking awards group is you're supposed to showcase the inker to a degree. The inker bringing something to the table. So anyway, I'll be interested to see how that comes out, and also what reaction I get from it through either. Well, I know I'll get reaction from the fans, love, hate, whatever, but even up to, it would be nice if David Finch has time, if he could kind of, I think there's 20 to 24 inkers doing it. If he would just, let everyone know what he thought of what they did in kind of a critique type thing. I would really enjoy that. Yeah, Ron, I like I told you, I could go with safe. And like I was just talking about, I could go with safe. I could play that. But I feel like I feel there's some things that I really love about his pencils, and there's some things that I think that people are just not interpreting, yeah, I guess, as well as not that I'm not that I'm the savior for him, but I've got a different viewpoint, as you know. I think I see some areas in there where I could have a lot of fun. So I'm going to give it a shot. Like I said, if I don't like it, I want to leave myself enough time to take a look at it and give myself that I can always take the easy way. But I don't want to do that. I really don't. But you know that because we discussed it. Okay, so I'm trying to think. I'm just kind of picking around on this piece with this thinner micron. This is like the finest they make, a 005. Jared would use a 007 because he is Mr. Bond. Wah, wah, wah. Okay, bad joke. Bad pun, maybe. Jared would appreciate it. Dun, 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 dun. And not that I need to right now, but let's just get this little, some of Mike's pencils are coming up and smearing that little bit of paper. So let's take care of that now. Check. Yeah, let me get a little hand sanitizer, even though it's gonna come back up because I'm gonna start getting into the piece a bit more. Let me get the. Mike uses a soft lead or something on these, or maybe it's the way he shades it in. I usually tap them out a little bit because when you lay down the pencil, there's a slight layer that kind of rests on the paper. And I've done that my entire inking career. I've always taken pencils and just went across with a kneaded eraser and either tapped, or if it's even dark enough, I've made like this piece flat and I'll kind of streak through. And I would always keep a photocopy of the pencils next to me so I could refer to them. That's what I'm going to do, Ron. I'm going to record because they actually, the people that are doing the contest, they ask that nobody posts their piece when they get it done. Just they want. I think they want to post them, and they asked if we could take progress shots, even maybe explain the tools that we used, et cetera, et cetera. And that's what I'm going to do with mine. I had already planned on doing that. And I'll have to do it in phases, I believe. I think I'm going to start with that one background area and work my way forward. Or I might start with a brush or pen and outline the Batman figure. This I can actually get into the mail today also. I don't have the backing board in case that it's in nearby. I don't know if it's going back to Texas or not. But I know one thing. I have to go to the post office to send the one piece I did to England because the click and ship that I'm trying to use wants to charge me like $40 or $50 to mail a international priority, and I can't do. It's not letting me do the first class on Click and Ship. It said it wasn't available right now, so I'll try that again. But that's cool. I'll take a nice little walk down to the post office. It's about maybe a quarter mile from my office, and it's actually a nice. Well, it's supposed to rain later this afternoon, so that probably will mean Jacob pickup, which is fine since I have to do the school thing tonight anyway. I'll go ahead and throw this shadow under his nose because it's kind of throwing my eye not having it there with the shadow under his mouth. So let's go ahead and get that in there. Yeah, that was a big ouch. I was like, I was like, okay, let me. Everyone says you can do it, and I think it's just a glitch. I really do. I think it's a glitch in the system right now. So I will try it again, um, because it just said temporarily unavailable. Now I understand that um, sometimes temporarily for something like that could be days. So I'll give it another shot, and if it doesn't allow me, then because I got to do this one anyway. So I'll I'll redo the label and go into picking my shipping option and see if it gives me that same warning. Yeah, I couldn't believe, you know, something that small would be that. But okay, let's take a stop, take a look. How we're doing so far. I say thumbs up. So usually at a convention, this is what I'm doing at about 2 or 3 in the morning in the hotel room. I'll have uh, I'll have my iPad or laptop out, um, I'll just be working away with, usually I will stock up on water for the room. So I'll have it there. I don't drink the coffee in the hotel rooms. I don't know why. I think I'm just too lazy to make it. I also, I don't know. I don't trust. I think I would have to clean the coffee maker or something. I'm actually surprised, to tell the truth, that they still offer, they still have that courtesy coffee in the rooms. Um, Ron, I think I'm gonna pull the trigger today. They put my Samsung 50 back on sale today, so I think when I'm out and about, I I think I need to have it delivered here to my office. I think. I don't think it'll fit in my journey, but I'm not 100% sure. Ah, okay. Okay, 10-4, Ron. 10-4. Did anybody, or maybe they still do, uh, if you're watching this on a recording, you put it in the comments. They will be available down below. I need to answer that message. It just came in real quick. Excuse me just a minute. Okay, sorry about that. That's just one of those ones that I can't let go for a while. Hello, people that are watching and being quiet. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. If you would like to have a conversation, please just jump in the chat. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And since I brought that up, if you're watching this after, feel free to leave a comment if you have any questions or if you have comments. And that's what it says, it's comments. So it's interesting to me with a character such as Captain America. Um, that certain artists, I feel, um, really connect or really can get the character visually, and maybe, I don't know. The mental part is hard. Depends on the writing to a degree, but just the visual impact of the character, the proportions, the look, the attitude. I'm not sure I do a great job, but I think I do an adequate job. Some of my favorites are, of course, Mike Zeck, who I'm inking now. Steranko. Uh, yes, he did Captain America and Nick Fury, but his 3 issues on the book uh, had such a great impact, to me at least, on the character. Jack Kirby, I mean, he and Joe Simon created the character, so of course he had the ability to really capture the essence of the character. Um, John Buscema, another person to me that I loved the when he did the Avengers and would do Cap. Michael Golden is another person who uh, has this really, well, at least to me, Golden has a knack of taking any character, and I mean from the lamest characters you could ever think of to the most interesting characters. And to me, he puts his own like spin on all of them, and I've never seen anyone like him take what would to me be, like a sketch or a cover assignment that he's done. Some of these characters, and he just owns them. I mean, just completely owns them. He goldenizes them, and suddenly they're in his universe. And so, yeah, Steranko, Zeck, Golden, whenever he did Captain America, Buscema. Um, uh, That's pretty funny. Um, so yeah, I'll tell you who's Captain America I like too is Dave Johnson. He's done some covers uh, back in the '90s, I believe, and you know, I know he was influenced by Steranko and Kirby, and it showed in his covers. Um, Cap is like I said. I've noted this before. Cap is my favorite character, so I kind of have this just a good. I like Cap done well. Well done. Well done. I like well done Cap. That's uh, let's rethink what I said here. I just like it when somebody captures Cap in uh, their body gesture or his body gesture, his look and stuff. Chris Somney, who I mentioned the other day, who did that run on Cap before he got wooed away by DC Comics finally and left as of issue 700. I don't know if that was his plan all along or if it's something that happened. Um, but man, I'll tell you, I I have to admit I really enjoyed seeing him handling Captain America on the art. It was so good. To me he's him and Lee Weeks. Lee Weeks is another person that I think he gets a lot of love from his fellow artists, but maybe out there in the world of fans, he might be not to everyone, but to that group that um, would prefer to see stuff really rendered up. It's he may not be their cup of tea. So, but Lee is great, fantastic artist. Really? No, it's not 55. It's just 50. And you put a box in your staying, man. I guess you know, I figure we got to have a set down here, Ron. Um, for when we get to do some streaming where there's a background and stuff, we're gonna need it. What I also like about having that here is you can do the slideshow presentations through um, a Google Cast. All you got to do is I forget what they call their. It's kind of like a PowerPoint thing. So I'm thinking I can use that when I go through the tools I use. Put it up on the screen behind me or something. The weird thing, you would think sketch covers would dry faster, but sometimes this ink on a cover, this one is actually fairly porous. Um, so I'm pretty sure it's safe, but this is the little tool I want to master, the Pentel pocket brush. I uh, I need to I need to spend some time practicing with it. Um, the part the part that gets me is the taper. It is so long that on these lines, and I probably just it's because I'm fussy. I love this part though, where I can get that nice juicy line going. I need to just learn to let that go, especially on my sketches, like I did last night. I don't really need that clean line. But that's kind of, excuse me, that's kind of built into me over the years of doing, let's say, my commercial style. Um, it's kind of one of those things that's built into just how I function. But I will say, um, in fact, it was interesting in Baltimore last year. I caught Stelfreeze for a few minutes, and we were talking. And I love his, I'll call them quick sketches. And I told him I really love the looseness, that he gets on those. And we both agreed that some of the little accidents that happen when we're not so fussy with the work would be nice if we could do. Uh, like the convention thing is, you have a certain amount of time. When you're home, you tend to you can fuss over everything. You can redo it. You can do a lot. Okay, so I want to come up here. I want to make sure I don't smear nothing. Now, hopefully that TV's still on sale because I know it was a President's Day thing, but I think it's all week. But I was glad to see them drop it back down after I blew it on the Super Bowl, because I figured once they hit that price point, even after the Super Bowl, they would try to keep them there for a while. But no, boy, they jumped right back up. So I just thought of something, Ron. I should have them deliver it because, well, I gotta see how heavy it is. I forgot. They're not paperweights like they used to be. They're a little bit lighter. I was gonna say, I got to come up to the second floor, and even though I got the elevator, I got a dolly here too. That's right. Yeah, I'm good. All right. Never mind. I'm too hard. Thinking too hard. I will say, having a studio uh, to go to work and to stream in like this is very fun. Uh, uh, I do miss the comfort of working at home, but let's see, I've been here. This lease renews in April, and I think this is the end of my third year. So I probably, well, no, probably about it. I spend more time here at my office than I do at home. Um, and when convention season comes around, I spend more time in the Atlanta airport and other airports and hotels than I do at my home. But I'm not complaining. It's kind of it's funny. You hear about the people that that have to run around, and that becomes me. I don't know how Neil Adams does it. I swear he is the king as far as conventions. I think he literally has one 50 weeks out of a year. Hey, Joe. Good morning. So when Mike and I were doing Captain America, it was kind of interesting because he was on it for 6 months before I was. I My first issue inking interiors was 265, and I had inked a few covers leading up to that. Quite a few actually, maybe four, maybe more. Um, but I remember, I'm pretty sure our run on Cap was like 2.5 years, which put him at the 3 year mark. And I remember when Mike called me to talk about, he had just got off the phone with Jim Shooter, who had offered him this new project that was going to be the first 12 issue maxi series of heroes from a company coming together in one book, like, the complete, or as many as they could, heroes from a company. Secret Wars, of course. And, Mike was at that time, it was kind of like, well, it's the 12 issue series with a lot of characters in it. And he was asking how I felt about leaving Cap to do Secret Wars. And I was very hesitant because of my love for Cap. Mike was hesitant too, but Cap was going to be in Secret Wars, so we weren't like completely giving him up. Now, also, like I said, the main part of the story here to remember is Mike had done 3 years on Cap now, so that's a huge run. That's nothing to shake a stick at. That's when you've been on a book for 3 years, you've you've kind of got exhausted a bit, maybe. And I think that was kind of a decision. But I think, Mike and I were never like, we weren't like a George Perez that, we thrived on the team books. And we knew this was going to be more than a team book. This was going to be a Marvel Universe book. So there was a little hesitancy to go forward with it. But, and who knew? I mean, it could have been the biggest bomb ever. But I just told Mike, I said, well, I really don't want to leave Cap, but I understand. And, you know, um, I said, if, I'm going to go where you go, because at that point, I was having such a great time inking Mike, which I still do, uh, that, um, at least I was still, we were still going to get to have Captain America. And whenever Mike could, he focused hard on Cap in the book. Uh, so we still got our Captain America fix. And so we moved on and still did covers for Captain America. Actually, we did some of our better covers, I think. Well, I don't know. Some of the covers during the run were good. Let me rethink that before I set that in stone, right? Um, but it turned out to be an okay decision. Secret Wars has been one of those things that turned out to be like a once in a lifetime project that you could be on. And we didn't think anything about it at the time, except it was our next gig. That was basically the way we looked at it. So that's kind of my take on it. For those who are interested in, a little bit of backstory, or from what I can remember thinking, when Mike gave me that call, and trying to remember immediately, because I may have been, Mike may have been finishing up the issue I was inking or something. I'm pretty sure that Secret Wars started immediately, so we kind of had to like make that decision so Shooter could either, have his team or look elsewhere. But as far as I know, Mike and I were the first art team at Marvel that Jim approached to do this. I've never heard anybody, nobody's ever came up and said, oh, turn Secret Wars down. So that's kind of cool. Because it would be kind of interesting from a different perspective had we turned it down, to see who did it. And that would now be kind of like one of those roles that an actor maybe turned down, that they regret afterwards, once it becomes a success. Maybe they can't see it at the time. And truthfully, we didn't see it as a huge deal. It was just, like I said, it was a job. it was going to be a little special in that it had never been done before and stuff like that. But 30, 30 some years plus later, it's still, you know, being talked about and read and passed down from generation to generation. And uh, like I said, it's one of those things. It's a blessing that we had no idea at the time what it would amount to, if anything, beyond what it was supposed to do, and that's sell toys. Okay. Excuse me. I think we got this ready for blacks to be filled in. And this is the last of the sketch covers that I brought back from Texas to complete. So, Tater, thank you, sir. How have you been? Long time no see. All right. Hopefully, this is ready for erasing. Like I said, sometimes these brush markers give you a little surprise. But this paper is fairly coarse, as I noted earlier, so I think the ink is drying on it fairly quick. It's not a slick surface sketch cover like some of them are. Those, if I know it's a slick one, like Dark Knight 3, the sketch cover for that one, that thing is glossy. It's hard to pencil on it. Uh, I usually don't erase when I ink one of those. Um, yeah, they're really tough. This one's working nicely. Okay. Yep, it's easy to get out of rhythm. Especially, there's been a little sickness going around. I had a touch of it, and I think it was last week. I kind of just wasn't around much. Um, I thought I was getting a cold, but it never really developed. But man, I'll tell you, I was tired. I was literally exhausted, and I think it was some sort of sinus. We went from like 80-degree weather, like mid 80s, dropped down into the 50s, and I've kind of realized that my body's not reacting to that type of weather, that drastic weather change like that as well as it used to. So yeah, um, I did a live stream. I think it was another sketch cover over Zeck last Monday. Oh, see, I keep thinking this is Monday because of the holiday, but last Monday, and I don't think I did anything else until I think it was Friday, maybe. Then, of course, I did a session last night, Thanos and a Ghostwriter, which, if you haven't seen it, you might want to catch the replay on those. Those were a lot of fun. They turned out really nice. I am gonna try. Uh, I keep saying it. I'm gonna try to just for just to see what's if the audience would change much. Not that I'm looking to get rid of anybody that, I enjoy you guys a lot, but I'm going to try I know I would probably have to start around 9 p.m. Eastern time to catch West Coast people. See if I need to do it a couple times to see if I would catch maybe a bigger live audience. Although I really need someone to co-host to help read the chat, because when it gets to be 10 people in here or more, and even if all of them aren't chatting, it gets tough to keep up with everything. And I try to be good about that. I know how it is when I'm in somebody's chat and I ask a question and it just rolls by and it never gets looked at. And that's fine. I mean, I get it. People that have a few hundred people or more, maybe 1,000 or more on their live streams, there's just no way you can keep up with the whole chat. That's why I try to tell stories and anecdotes while I'm working to engage people or to at least give them something to listen to while I'm doing something like this, as simple as filling in black areas on a sketch cover, just so they know that, they're not, even if they're watching it on replay, that it was done live. And because I know myself, I get excited when I see what might be a good video on YouTube, and when I go to it and play, and all I get is a music background, no narration about the process of what the person used or how they did it. it it loses me. I don't. I usually don't stick around. Uh, Sometimes they'll have like the subtitle thing, but even that is, it wouldn't take much more work to do a voiceover. So that's why from time to time you'll hear me talking about other things um, besides art, and it may just come up in conversation too. But it's good to see you around again. Tater, I am the same way. Um, I'll put on somebody's stream as long as there's a voice interaction, somebody talking. I'll leave it on. Um, Recorded or live. I'll tell you what. This weekend when I had my son Jacob here, um, I was doing some work, and this may sound kind of weird, but it popped up on my I don't know, just like that recommended for you. There was some meditation music. I had searched for, and I don't know if this guy. I would like to have like a little light background music playing, even on my casts. And so I did do a search for like royalty free YouTube music. But this station came up, and this guy, it's called Relax Daily or something like that. So I went over to it, and it's got this like 24/7 stream of piano music just lightly playing, and I put it on, and it's very hypnotic. It's relaxing, it's easy to concentrate. It doesn't interfere with concentration. And I think I might have to, because he's got a Patreon channel too. And you know, I I did not notice any. I did not know any of the songs that he was playing. I think they're his original works. Um, But to be fair, I think I would contact him and just say, could you check my channel out and, you know, would I be allowed to, get his permission, or maybe it's like, yeah, I could stream it on my other computer just enough to have a little music, just light, kind of like that shopping experience where you're at the store and it's like elevator music, I guess is a better terminology for it. But it was just really nice. I didn't have it on loud, and even though my son Jacob was gaming, it was really funny because after about 3 hours, he asked me. He said, "Daddy, are you playing that music?" Because it's almost, to him, it's like lullaby music because it's piano and it's soft and like I said, it's the guy puts it as music to concentrate, think by, relax by, stuff like that. So, but and I said, "Do you like it?" And he's like, "Could you turn it off?" And I know why is because that little booger gets tired and he doesn't want to admit it. And when he hears that type of music, uh, it kind of makes him drowsy. For me, it was like good because it wasn't like thumping in my ear or anything, and it was just kind of light in the background enough to, I could hear a melody, I could hear some music, and it was a nice experience. So I'm really kind of curious to know because I think something in the background, just lightly playing, would be nice. But you have to be careful of that. Have to be careful because YouTube will, I can't just put the local radio station on and let it play. That's a no-no. I don't even think I could stream like another YouTube channel in the background. Like, well, that guy's doing the music. Like I said, I don't think I can do that. That's his content, not mine. However, I think if I get permission and give him credit in my in the little drop down thing that says see more or whatever, I think it would be fine then. I don't know. It's just something I was thinking about. It'd be nice. Not all the time. If I get the gaggle of people together like Jared and Ron and Craig and whoever else, Pat, we talk enough among us. But just if I'm here by myself, it's nice for those times where I need to take a break from talking or something. Speaking of filling in blacks, there's a segue for you. I might have to see if I can get some Copic special black sketch markers. This one's doing fine, but sometimes I use those to fill the blacks in on my sketch covers, and they're like a 110, a Copic 110. I should probably stay with the 100 because the 110 is so much darker than even the pens that I use now that it's noticeable. So it's one of those things where it is a real dense black. They call it the 110 is the special black, and boy, I tell you, it is noticeably darker to the fact of sometimes it's almost distracting. I feel like, oh, you know, haven't done that in a while. Uh, Mixed them up. I try to keep the tone as even as possible. this book is going to get slabbed. So that's part of these sketches too. Is it's not like somebody's buying a printed page. They're buying it for the original, so they want it as immaculate as possible. Number one, because they're just basically buying the art. Let's take a look at the back. That's nice and clean. That's why I have this clean piece of paper. Um, they're buying it for the art, and then they're buying to slab it. And the cleaner you keep the cover, and the less dings or anything, the better grade they're going to get. So I'm always conscious when I'm working on something for somebody that's going to get it graded. I'm pretty conscious about that in all respects, but just especially these covers, because I know any little crease or fold can drop them down. Yeah, that could be Tater. I just got to make sure, and I can contact the guy and just say, hey, you know what? Could I stream your music as I draw and give you a link? You know, maybe even give him a verbal call out to his channel. There's a lot of channels out there, as you probably well know. YouTube can be that rabbit hole you go down once you start one video, and then you go down, you see something else, then you see something else, and you see something else. 3, 4 hours later, you're like, oh man, I've just been watching these YouTube videos. So, but hey, that's part of their plan, and it works. That's why those recommended videos come up. They want to keep you on that platform because it's good for their advertisers. They can show that people were, you know, active on YouTube for so many hours or so many videos or whatever. All right. I think we got Cap done. Yay for Cap. Always a pleasure. it is. It is. Well, okay. Excuse me 1 second. Okay. Thank you, Tater. I appreciate that. Uh, all I got to do is get a signature on it. I think I'm going to go here kind of under into the lower side of Mike. I occasionally, since Mike's already got his signature on here, I'll give myself a little bit of a guide, because I do have a tendency sometimes to well, I'll say fall, but I wonder if I should do it up here. I don't think so. I kind of like them. The one thing I like to do sometimes with my signature with Mike is lock them together um, through his J, and I'm about to do that now, so you'll kind of see. I'll start my J inside of his and go across. So there you have it. And then I will give that a second to dry and erase the little guidelines that I give myself. So that's how it looks. All right, so that will complete this morning's Captain America inking. Thank you, Ron. By the way, everybody, if you can, on your way out, either live or watching, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Little bell will pop up for notifications to let you know when I'm live again. If you like this video that you saw, always thumbs up. And don't forget, I think after I quit streaming live, if you want to come back and leave a comment, or immediately after, if you have a comment or if you have a question, please feel free to ask. I usually get back to you within minutes, if not within the same day. You know what? I missed a black here, so that's a good thing to catch that. So yeah, if you can hit the thumbs up, I would appreciate it. Feel free to share this with your social media network. Maybe somebody out there will enjoy it as you have. I think I'm actually going to even go ahead and this looks like it's itching for black. That's going to balance this part out. It's a little too stark over there. The contrast isn't right. Okay. So, like I was saying, that will do it. And I appreciate you all coming out and supporting not only myself, but my stream. I have a few things. I do got to run to the post office. Yeah, they're open. And do a few other things. I got a thing with my son at school tonight. I'm pretty sure I got to double check with my wife. So if I'm streaming some head sketches tonight, I'm not sure because quite frankly, that school thing is a little boring. And the first night I literally fell asleep during it. It was just because I was really tired. I mean, really tired. Um, so I'll have to check with her to make sure it is tonight. I'm pretty sure it was Tuesdays, and it was a 3-week thing, and this would be the 3rd week. So, uh, I will probably, I would like to try to stream maybe, I know I'll do something tomorrow. I don't know if I'll fit another one in today or not. If so, those of you that have notifications on, yeah, you'll get a little pop-up. And for those of you who don't, you might see me announce it on Twitter or Facebook. But until then, I'll say goodbye for now, and I think that gets that takes care of all the little areas that I may have missed. And that's common. Every now and again it happens. You miss a little black area, and hopefully you catch it. I probably would have caught it in the scan had I not caught it just then. So thanks again. I appreciate y'all. And let's see. Tater says, "Do you and Zeck do at-home commissions often?" No. This is we don't. Sometimes if there's one or two people that absolutely want to get a combo, and Mike has time to pencil them, but I won't have time to ink them at a show, Mike will give them the option of letting me take it home and then mailing it out to them. And I would say 9 out of 10 people, if not 10 out of 10, take that option. Especially now that I'm streaming it, because they can actually watch their piece being done. So that's basically that. So let me see. This down angle really kind of wreaks havoc rather. But my camera's angled too, so I'm trying to give you all a better perspective. That's kind of good. That's kind of a good angle. Just a quick detail look. All right, so I am going to get this scanned and send the scan off to the client and get it packaged up. Head over to the PO, do a few other things around town, and get back to my office and find out what's going on tonight for my wife. And maybe I can get another stream in, even if it's one quick head sketch or something a little later today. All right. Thank you all. Thanks for stopping in, and I will see you soon. Hope you all have a great day, and take care. Bye for now.